Hi, it's Chris Wong here, back with another workout video. Mainly for this video, I'll talk about why I'm switching back to one main exercise and a couple other exercises to warm up. I used to do like maybe 4 or 5 exercises, more of isolation just to warm up the muscles, or do the muscles that I barely do at the end of workouts, or that don't get activated as much during the main lifts. So I used to do like band face pulls. I'll do a set of pull-ups and then do a set of ring dips, and I'll do reverse hypers on the bench like I'm doing right now. And I'll try to warm up my tibialis anterior. And I try to do that in many workouts just to maintain some consistency and to work out the muscles that barely get worked out. But then going back to the old thinking, or the thinking I had at one point, and even after watching Eric Bugenhagen's videos on one exercise, I decided to go back to the approach because in my previous videos I talked about how I try to fit all those exercises in, and I try to do a few full body exercises in order to fit them all in for a full body workout. And I realized I'm trying to fit it all in an hour, as I want to keep the workout 1 hour in order to prevent depletion of testosterone and growth hormone and minimize the cortisol spikes. But then thinking like that, I actually wonder, if I try to fit it all in, am I just going to spike my cortisol anyways, because I'm thinking like I have a tight deadline to meet and I got to get 3 or 4 tasks done, otherwise my boss is going to yell at me. So now I'm just giving kind of like one exercise approach a try, but this time it's not going to be like one pure exercise and I do that for the whole workout. It's going to be like a couple exercises to warm up with, something that can something the activation can actually benefit in order to do the main lifts. Like that's why I decided to do reverse hypers on the bench and neck curls. I decided to do neck curls of 30 pounds and 50 pounds just to prepare for rack pulls above the knee. So I did find when I was doing this workout, I wasn't as rushed, but I also went over my limit a bit. Instead of setting the timer at 45 minutes and then as a warning, I actually set the timer at 30 minutes as a warning, and then restart the timer and then make sure I didn't go over like another 15 or 30 minutes, just to make sure my total workload was an hour. Now, if I didn't have to, if I was more of a type of person who can actually work out for 3 hours a day, make progress, and somehow fit into my schedule to go to work and to do the other stuff I need to do, then I would consider doing it. But I don't have that type of ability to recover, and I don't know, and I don't think I will make additional gains by training more than what I need to train. Like sometimes I'm just trying different things, like should I train less or should I train a little bit more? And I did find like when I was going to rack pulls above the knee for as the main lift and taking up at least 2/3 the workout, I spent more time actually warming up. I even tried with an empty bar just to get used to the motion. And then I actually even wonder, did I just want to stick to just one exercise for this workout and just do only rack pulls, or did I actually just want to do a few variations, but just have nothing to do with adjusting the equipment? So I know, like, switching from, like, say, squats into rack pulls, it's a completely different setup. Now I have to make sure, like, if I was doing squats with a straight bar, then I have to make sure I put the squat bar on top of the J hooks, and then I have to take the weights off when I'm done, and then put the bar back down, and then I gotta put the weights on over time. So while I'm doing these rack pulls above the knee, I decide to experiment with the with a lift after watching Brett Contreras. I believe he called it the American deadlift, but I'm not doing the full rep deadlift, so I'm just doing the posterior pelvic tilt squeeze at the top, as I want to get some glute activation. In my previous videos, I would be doing band hip thrusts just to activate my glutes and reduce pressure to my knees. And then there was also the deadline thought that if I try to squeeze that in as well, like, would I give myself a good workout to do rack pulls above the knee or anything else? So I may just put the band hip thrust as its own workout, and then do like a set of shoulders, or do a set of dips after. So as long as I wasn't really adjusting the workout equipment around, I just did variations of shrugs, rack pulls, trying to posterior pelvic tilt some of my lifts, just to really get that squeeze, and then try like power shrugs. Now I'm using the supinated grip for both hands on the lifts because I find that it actually works up my upper back differently. It works up my traps differently, and I also find over time it's conditioning my biceps in order to handle that position. Like, I know we're told that if you do a double underhand grip for deadlifts, it's easier chance to tear biceps. And chances are there could be, but I condition myself properly to reduce the chances of tears. I'm also not taking steroids. I decide to keep everything natural. And I also find the grip is like much harder, so I wasn't able to lift as much weight, or even power stroke as much weight. Now, after watching myself doing like the American deadlift style on the rack pull, like just squeezing with a posterior pelvic tilt at the top, I didn't realize I round my upper back and possibly push my neck or my head a little too forward. Now, it is probably the only way to get into that position in order to really squeeze the glutes at the top. And I did watch other footage on YouTube after on how to do a lift, but I didn't really feel any bad pain in my upper back or my neck. And during the lift, I find that the underhand grip, it's almost easier to tear the skin off easier than the overhand grip. So that was one of the reasons why I had to stop the lift a bit earlier, and then took my chance to decide to finished the exercise with overhand grip. Like I just pretty much worked up to 635 pounds, trying to do the full glute squeeze and the posterior pelvic tilt. And then I almost want to do an additional set with I think 675 pounds. But then after feeling my hands against the bar and getting close to the end of my workout, I just decided to call it a day. It's not worth it to keep exercising and then ripping off the skin off your hands. It's a rip on the skin, especially on your palms. It's very painful, and even like disinfecting it with alcohol or apple cider vinegar is very painful. So I just decided to call it a day and then take off the plates. I know one of the downsides of this exercise is the amount of plates to put on and the amount of plates to take off. Like, even though I don't mind doing it, but it also does take a lot of time too. And it's, now I think of it, it's actually one of the things that made it less enjoyable when I was trying to add rack pulls to the end of the workout. Like even after a set of squats or after doing other full body compound exercises and then trying to do rack pulls at the end. It's just there was a rush of trying to put the weights on, trying to work up to the highest weight I plan on working for the day, and then taking the weights off. Like just watching myself and filming this narration, I didn't realize how long I spent to take the weights off. Since I'm not at the gym and I'm at home, I'm not going to throw the weights on the floor. I'm going to put them down gently and then take my time. I could leave the weights on, but it will damage the barbell over time. I may consider in the future if I want to try to get this on the block pulls and use less of rack pulls, because I do know or notice that if I put the bar down a bit too hard, especially for rack pulls, it does bend the bar a little bit. Even though I bought a decent bar, it's supposed to handle 2,000 pound weight capacity, but when the bar lands on the floor or on blocks versus landing on the rack, the weight bouncing or the way the weight is distributed is different. Bars dropping on blocks is going to last a lot longer than bars dropping on the power rack.